We begin tonight with breaking news out of Washington, D.C., where fighter jets had to scramble this afternoon to intercept a wayward private jet. That jet was on its way from Tennessee to Long Island, New York, when it abruptly turned around and flew toward the nation's capital. The plane did not respond, and F-16 fighter jets were scrambled from Andrews Air Force Base. The private jet continued over D.C. without a response and crashed west of Charlottesville, Virginia. The Pentagon has confirmed that it was not shot down. We'll have much more in this developing story coming up on NBC Nightly News tonight at 6. And overnight here in Portland, a horrific crash killed 2 men after the car they were in plunged more than 20 feet off the Morrison Bridge. The car landed upside down on a street in East Portland. Now, it all happened around 2:15 this morning. Portland police say the driver of a Mercedes was likely speeding and intoxicated when the car hit a barrier. Now, the force of that crash sent the car over the edge, and it landed on its roof on Southeast Water Avenue and Belmont. The driver and a passenger died at the scene. No one else was hurt. These are the 25th and 26th traffic deaths in Portland this year. Well, the pilot of this small plane is expected to survive after it crashed Saturday morning near the Scappoose Airport. The ultralight craft went down around 7:30 just east of the airport's fence. Crews used an ATV to reach the crash in rugged terrain. Now, the pilot was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The FAA is now investigating. Well, now to an update on the 6 women that vanished and were found dead around Portland in the past 6 months. Today, Portland police are saying they have no reason to believe the deaths are connected. Now, this comes after the remains of 22-year-old Ashley Reel were found in rural Clackamas County last month. She was last seen in Portland. This marked the 6th such death within a 100-mile radius of Portland. Portland police say detectives are working with the Clackamas County officials on that case. They're also investigating the death of Kristen Smith of Gresham, whose remains were found in February in the Pleasant Valley neighborhood. As for the other 4 cases, Portland police have talked with the agencies investigating them, but are not currently involved. Well, a woman who was serving a life sentence for throwing her children off the Selwood Bridge more than a decade ago has died in prison. Officials at the Coffee Creek Correctional Facility in Wilsonville say 45-year-old Amanda Stott Smith died there this morning. She began serving her life sentence in 2010 for killing her 4-year-old son and trying to kill her 7-year-old daughter. Her sentence included the possibility of parole after 35 years, meaning she could have been released at age 67. The medical examiner will determine how she died. Well, Vancouver police are asking for your help finding a pregnant woman who's been missing for about a month. 31-year-old Kaylee Wheelis was last seen in early May. Her family says she is currently homeless, and they're worried she could be suffering from medical complications that would be dangerous to her and her child. Call police if you know anything. And Vancouver police are also looking for a mom and her 2 kids. Investigators say 35-year-old Bethany Schaefer is having a mental health crisis, so they're worried she may be a danger to herself and potentially to her 10-year-old son and 7-year-old daughter. Their picture is now on your screen. Now, she was last seen driving a white Mazda. The license plate is also there on your screen. If you have any information, call Vancouver police. Well, one of Oregon's most influential tribal leaders was remembered today. The service was held at the Spirit Mountain Casino. Let's bring in Devin Haskins, who has her story and the legacy she leaves behind. Devin.
Yeah, Blair, Catherine Harrison didn't live an easy childhood. Orphaned at the age of 10, she was sent to an abusive foster home. As an adult, she raised 10 children of her own with little to no help from her alcoholic husband. It was later in life, though, she set out on a mission to fight for the rights and restoration of 2 of Oregon's tribes.
The sounds of drums and song fill the room at the Spirit Mountain Casino. Voices carry the tune of Catherine Harrison's life. From family members,
we have great memories, and we just need to keep telling them.
To tribal leaders.
When we look at where the tribe was and where we are today, we do owe a great debt of gratitude.
And politicians.
Catherine Harrison was a woman known and respected statewide in Oregon.
Almost everyone here was in some way touched by her life.
That's the way she always was, is she cared more about people than herself.
In the 1970s, 20 years after 61 tribes in Oregon lost federal recognition, Catherine Harrison made restoration for them her mission.
And if it weren't for her, we Silettes had a difficult time being restored. But restoring the Grand Round tribe was a great feat, and we owe her family for lending us Catherine for all these years.
She testified in front of Congress and helped not only the Silettes tribe, but also got federal recognition back for her own.
Restoration was really a vision of the heart. I believe sent by our Creator to help our people come into what He planned for us. And she was one of those leaders.
More than a leader, but a visionary. In 1995, she helped establish a gaming contract for the Spirit Mountain Casino.
That contract set up the most successful tribal casino in the Northwest.
Carrie Timchuk, executive director of the Oregon Historical Society, says Harrison was a friend of his for more than 2 decades. Someone he says didn't let her short height ever get in the way of what she wanted.
Persistence. She just didn't give up. I mean, there were many times, many opportunities where she could have given up, where there was too many hurdles in the road.
Catherine Harrison was 99 years old. I'm Devin Haskins, KGW News.
Well, let's turn to the weather now, and it's another warm and sunny day out there, and it's looking like some heat is on the way. Daisy Caballero has a look at your forecast. Daisy.
Yeah, thanks so much, Blair. And yes, you're totally right. We are going to continue to welcome in all the warm temperatures and also mostly clear and sunny blue skies. Whether you're on the coast over in Newport or here in the Rose City, you definitely felt and probably saw a lot of that sun. We're seeing 77 degrees here in the Portland metro area. Checking in at the rest of our current temperatures, many of us are in the 70s. We are a little bit cooler, 69 degrees for Happy Valley. Over east, though, we're seeing those 80s. We're looking at 86 degrees for Pendleton, 83 for Baker City, but as always, seeing those 50s along the coastline. So what else is in store for us? Well, we're going to be kicking off our work week in the 80s, and then we're actually going to be warming up. Warmest days are set to be on Tuesday and Wednesday. But how hot are we talking? I'll have that answer for you coming up in my full forecast.
All right, Daisy, thanks so much. Well, today at Oaks Park, people walked to raise awareness and money for infant and maternal health. OHSU providers, patients, and their families teamed up with the March of Dimes for the March for Babies. The money raised goes towards research and programs to end preventable maternal and infant deaths.
One of the things we are proud of is that we can take care of babies born at a very young age, preterm. Mother's mortality is also still an incredible issue, especially it's rising everywhere, even in the United States.
Now, the money will also go toward providing free neonatal intensive care support. Well, a University of Oregon student who graduated from Park Rose High School has been named the recipient of the first ever Ava Louise Gordley Scholarship for Black women. Kieja Bagenstos is a sophomore journalism major at the U of O. She was chosen from among students around the state for what the scholarship committee calls her top academic performance and her outstanding commitment to positive change by seeking to use her journalism degree to provide a voice for the voiceless. She was recognized this afternoon at the Soul Restoration Center.
It's definitely an honor because I've struggled in the past being able to tell my story with everything that I've come from. So, being honored in this way is just such a blessing, really.
Now, the scholarship's namesake, Ava Louise Gordley, was the first Black woman to be elected to the Oregon State Senate in 1996, serving the Northeast Portland area for 18 years. The scholarship is $2,000 and it's renewable.